I don't know how Thadley gets in so fast, honestly. I don't know how you do it, Thadley, but somehow you do it. I appreciate you for it. Okay, okay, okay. Good morning, Gabriel. Well, I'm hoping you're enjoying your lunch, sadly. Thank you, sir. Yeah, the production stream will start halfway through this stream. Enigma. Yeah, be safe, Alpha. Hey, Taylor. Thank you, by the way, and good morning. Good morning, Enigma. John Locke says, would you teach somebody how to play like you? I'm not a piano teacher, so no. There's a lot of things I know how to do, John, that I wouldn't consider myself proficient at teaching somebody how to do. I think those are two different skills. Teaching yourself how to do something versus teaching somebody else how to do something are two very different skills that need to be developed, and I only have one of them. So I would say no to that question. At least not, and not how I am right now. Not at my current skill level would I feel comfortable teaching somebody. Oh, hi, Bronstein. I didn't see you in the stream. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good Thursday today. Oh, hi, Cyber. Good morning. What up, Taylor? Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you in advance for listening to my music. And I hope those projects that you've got to get done do end up getting done. Oh, I did it by myself, John. Hey, is that Izzy? Difficult and easy, John, are really relative terms. For example, something that might be really easy to me might be difficult for you, John. I will say that learning music. Are you just talking about learning how to make music, John? Or are you talking about learning how to play piano, John? You have to make it a little more specific for me because I'm doing several things right now, right? So I was asking because I'm starting now. Starting what? Playing piano, John? Sam says, what song are you playing right now? I'm just improvising right now. This isn't a song. Uh-oh, is it raining? I could go for some rain right now. I was talking about it for a second, but it's been a minute. Nova. Ronstein says, have you tried the melodica on me, yeah. If you look at my video, Traveling Boy, I play the melodica in that. Also, if you look up the video Shiloh, I play melodica in that, and accordion. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of videos of me playing melodica Brownstein on my YouTube. I understand there's probably, like, a lot to dig through, so I understand if you haven't seen those videos. But yeah, I own a melodica. That's pretty. Remember when I used to go like this? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Hey, Ava's here. Ava made it. I know how that goes, Maddie. I guess I go with fine all the time. I'm fortunate to have a job to what? Work from home, so I can complain. Says Liana. Hi, T-Pad. I write more complicated melodies on piano because it's just my fingers. But yeah, the catching up melody. Usually, if I'm writing with my voice, since I have a limited vocal range, I will stay within like a pretty small range of vocals. Venomate is the same way. What key was that in? Yeah, that's the vocal melody for that. Ugh, but I can't remember the chords. Oh, that can't be right. What if that's right? What if the chords from Venomade are the same as the chords from Catching Up? I don't think that's true, but that's wrong. I think they just fit, but I don't think those are the actual chords. Ooh, that makes me want to play those songs back to back. I never play Venomade live anymore. Maybe I should start. Anywho, I guess we should go over to the production half of the stream now. So really quickly about the production half. The production half of the stream is going to change. This is the last time it's going to look and sound like the way it's going to look and sound today. I apologize for that. When I do my morning medley, this is live sound, right? So if something's happening outside, if there's kids playing, if there's birds chirping, you guys can hear that. And I've thought about not having that, right? I've thought about going direct, setting up a stream to where it's just directly my piano playing. But I kind of like the ambient noise being a part of the stream. So it works well for morning medley. However, for production streams, this isn't the best, you know? And so I was setting up an OBS stream for my morning medley, for my production streams. I was setting up an OBS stream. I'm not going to get into what that is if you don't know what OBS is, but it just kind of makes things a little bit neater on the screen, kind of like the average typical Twitch stream. And it also takes direct audio, so you wouldn't be getting all of this ambient sound around my room and stuff like that. However, I was busy with something yesterday, so I didn't have time to complete finalizing the stream and do some test runs. So I don't feel comfortable doing the new OBS setup with production stream until I have that completely tested. I don't want to run into any issues. However, that being said, I did promise, or I don't know if I promised, but I did say that every 10 streams now would be a production stream. And so in order to honor that, I'm going to bite the bullet and have the worst or the inferior audio quality for today's production stream. I apologize for that in advance. And if anybody else comes, I will be updating my apology throughout the course of the stream. Lindsay says, I got into the habit of making voice memos and melodies that come into my head, and it feels so much more natural than trying to come up with something on the piano. Yes. Doesn't it, though? Doesn't it, though? Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes perfect sense, because we all understand what our senses can do. You know, we know what things sound like, we know what things look like, we know what things feel like, but when it comes time to recreate those things with basic tools, it can be very difficult. You can imagine a picture in your head, but then if somebody gave you a paint set, you wouldn't necessarily be able to recreate the thing. This is also true for music. So sometimes it can be more productive to hum something out so you at least have the thing to hear, and then later you can kind of try to pick out the notes on piano than trying to, reverse engineer that, especially for somebody that is very creative and comes up with stuff pretty regularly from your imagination. The cyber's asking me who I was calling out. Oh, did I do something? Are you talking about when I don't know. I've talked so much now. That's a problem. I don't have very good recall. If I was calling somebody out, I'm sorry. I have to leave early and miss production. No worries, Maddie. I'm glad that you were in the stream at all. In the future, the production stream will be a little bit more punctual and organized, so hopefully you won't miss them in the future. I'm going to go ahead and take ownership for you missing this production stream. But not to worry, Maddie. For the next few production streams, I'm going to be making some pretty ambient stuff. So, I don't know how you feel about my ambient music, but if you're not particularly a fan of it, then you can chalk this up to not that big of an L, I guess. Hey, I'm earlier than an hour late, says Smitty. Yes, by a little bit. You're earlier than an hour late. That's a very good way of putting it, though, Smitty. I do like that. Izzy is going to make some breakfast. Um, Serious talking about Venomade. Oh, is that what Cyber's talking about? Like who I was talking about in the song Venomade? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, crap. What was the question again? Who was I calling out in Venomade? Somebody I'm not particularly a fan of. Lindsay says, also can't stay. Oh, no, they're apologizing that Maddie can't stay. Yeah, I do have time for one vanilla before production. Also, we have you, but I'm picking up some treats from the bakery. Sounds delicious, Maddie. Wow. Sounds great. No worries, Smitty. It's a weird amalgamation of a lot of my chord progressions played in weird, like, translations, not translations, permutations. This chord. That's from a song, one of my songs, and then going up to. It'll be hard for me to explain the words, but vanilla, vanilla. When I was because for people that don't know, when I'm saying I wrote it on a computer, I wrote vanilla in MIDI, not on a piano. I didn't touch a piano for the entirety of me writing and arranging that song. And something really interesting happens in my music on the computer versus my music on piano. My music on piano obviously is written to the limit and extent of what my fingers can do. My music on the computer is not limited to that, and so a lot of times, and on the computer, I can write music that will be inherently impossible to play. Um, there's a lot of my songs, like people on the string will be like, play Sugar Glider sometimes, and I'm like, I can't. Because when I wrote that song, I did not write it for two hands to play. I wrote it for a bunch of MIDI to show up on the screen. So there is no way to actually play it. Now, when there's a certain thing that happens in piano playing, especially in my piano playing, because I'm very limited and I don't have training. Certain things will just naturally happen. They feel natural. If you talk to somebody who knows music theory, they will call it resolution, or they have a bunch of more even complicated terms for it. Things generally resolve. If you think of catching up, the resolution of that, it resolves to something. So there are certain songs that I have where I try to suspend resolution, or I feel where the song would naturally resolve, and I try to not go there in order to keep the chord progression going. A good example of that is how I help. That kind of resolves itself. No, hold on. That's so interesting. That is the resolution of that, right? Well, I'm asking a question, but just know it's a rhetorical question. That is how you resolve that chord progression. Again, if I was going, so it goes, if I was going here. There is a resolution to it. So initially, the Winter Heart progression would have been. Ends. It kind of ends itself. It resolves. How I keep that from resolving is going up to that note, which needs to kind of resolve itself. That's not like an ending note. If I ended the song that way. See how it doesn't really feel like the end of a song, this chord? So I have to resolve that down to something that can end that, you know? And then I just move the whole thing down a little bit and I play it again. You just kind of keep going lower and lower. I can explain mentally what's happening here, but it might be really complicated and also difficult for me to explain because me and everybody in the stream does not have the same musical vocabulary. So I'm using a lot of very, very vague terms. I will just say that for these chord progressions, the way I'm keeping them from resolving is constantly, as soon as it resolves, going higher. Like I'm trying to keep everything falling or rising. I'm never ending on it like a punctuation. So if you look at the very beginning of Winter Heart, it's falling. If you look at the general chords my hand is playing, it's like here, and then it drops down a little bit, and it drops down, and then I go really high. Falling, 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 falling. Go higher, fall. It's just suspending resolution. I'm trying not to let the chord progression resolve. Now, I said all that, that's a lot of nonsense, but the way it connects back to what I was talking about, which was vanilla. Since I wrote vanilla on the computer, I didn't have my hands. So I was just writing a bunch of fake resolutions. I was making it constantly go places, like in my brain or in like somebody who listens to a lot of music, the chord that they would expect to come doesn't necessarily come, and it takes them somewhere different. And it's like, oh, we're in this key now, or oh, it's going up here. I was expecting it to go down, now it's going higher. So if you listen to vanilla, that's where it should end, right? That's where the resolution was going to be. But instead of going down there, I go. See how that bass line doesn't really end it? It has this kind of resolution. It goes here. And then it goes higher. Really high, kind of like this big, like royal sound. Like you've won a game or something. Very triumphant chord. And then it climbs up to more of like a hopeful chord. Like more of like a dissonant chord. Sad. Now we're climbing back up again for another triumphant thing. I'm sorry. Triumphant. That's sad. Right back down to that kind of sad chord. But it's resolving here. But it feels like it's resolving. It's kind of like a dissonant resolution. But instead of resolving down there, what I usually do is go and then play it high and start the whole chord progression over again. And it loops back into itself. I try to, with vanilla, when I was making it on the computer, I was like, oh, I'm just going to throw in a really happy chord, a very triumphant chord that sounds like you've won something, and then go back down to like a weird, sad, murky place. And I made it and I was like, this is good. I'm very satisfied with this. But then when it came time to learn it on piano, it's actually very difficult for me to play because of my personal training and me teaching myself piano. My hands kind of gravitate towards resolution. There's a whole thing on like jazz theory and like how jazz theory is kind of this oscillating roller coaster of resolving things and then going into like weird dissonance and resolving things, and that's what like makes jazz sound the way it does, where it's like chord and then dissonant thing, resolution, dissonant thing, resolution, dissonant thing, resolution. That makes sense, because chords like this, you don't want to end a song on that. If I was playing I Miss You, I was like, and then I ended it there, we would feel like there was kind of like a cliffhanger, like, oh, you kind of have to resolve that when you're going to. You would kind of expect it to go resolution. And so playing vanilla is very difficult because my hands naturally, from playing a lot of my other songs, want to resolve these chord progressions, but I can't because it's not how the song goes. So when I play vanilla and I'm going, that's where my hands want to go. My hands want to go not here. They keep going higher. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to my hands and my brain, even though I'm the one that created it. So that is why an essentially very slow song gives me so much trouble playing it, and I often mess up playing it. And that's also what is interesting about vanilla, because if you pull out random chords from vanilla, like this chord, that is the chord from Catching Up. So it takes a chord from Catching Up, but instead of resolving it, it goes, which is not a resolution, going up into that. I could pick apart Vanilla for an entire hour on why it's built up of a bunch of different smaller pieces of other songs that I've created. I'm glad that Lindsay likes it though. It's from the album by Omni Boy. It's called Ego Death. Oh, does Izzy not know about? Oh, Izzy hasn't listened to Ego Death yet. Yeah. As they say immediately after a comment cyber. Izzy hasn't listened to most of my newer music. This is something that I'm aware of when Izzy comes into streams, at least not with any intent, and I'm not upset about that. But yeah, I'm playing music from my newer stuff right now, Izzy. More recent releases. Um, yeah. The recorded version, as Lindsay's implying, of Vanilla is, and it's an electronic song, so it uses my synthesizers more than anything. So it isn't like an acoustic piano song. So this version is going to sound a little bit different. Something to take into consideration, Izzy. Yeah, true. The only reason I actually know how to play it on piano is because Lindsay asked for it. Lindsay kept asking me to be able to play it, and I was like dumbfounded because I actually didn't know how to play my own song. But I will say, Izzy, what I'm playing when I play Vanilla, I'll say this before we like kind of wrap up this part so we can go to the production part. When I play Vanilla, I'm playing the intro of Vanilla, but I am adding a loop to it. This is how Vanilla starts, and then Vanilla, eventually my vocals come in, and it goes into kind of like a loop. But I'm playing the more complicated version of Vanilla when I play the chord progression on piano. Okay. Word, cyber, word. Okay. I'm going to... Yeah, that was the last thing I was going to play. I'm going to fire up my... I don't know, command center? I don't know what you want to call it. I actually haven't been working on music that much lately, guys. I haven't been working on that much music lately, so my keyboards are probably going to be dusty. The thing I've been working on most recently is just a lot of video editing. If you are unaware of the Quarantine series, I do have a series of videos that I've been uploading to YouTube called The Quarantines, and they're oh, there that is. I found the cable I was looking for yesterday. I upload them every week. I try to make one a week. I just uploaded one 2 days ago. 2 days ago called Dreams Come True. Again, if you were in the 100 stream, you did see me make that song. Most of the Quarantines are not made in the stream though, so that was kind of like a rare, cool coincidence that I ended up using one of the tracks from a live stream in my production thing. Oh man, I feel like I'm in a cave. I feel like my room's become like a prison. This place is a prison. Does anybody remember that Postal Service song? No? No one can leave. Isn't that what it was like? This place is like prison. I want to get out of here. Nobody can leave. Okay, I'm going to start a new idea. I'm going to make something that's kind of outside of my comfort zone. Or I'm going to use a method that's kind of outside of my comfort zone. If you guys have seen me make music, it's from Postal Service's only release. Their only album. My only album. Holy crap, I forgot about Before Times. We made a track in the last production stream called Before Times. I don't remember this at all. I don't remember anything I make, but we're gonna start fresh. Today is not going to be a bouncy bop. Today is going to be ooh, you know what I can do? No, I'm not gonna do that. Today's going to be a chill track. So first I need to arm everything. I don't like the term arm. Sounds inherently violent. Today I'm going to prep both of my keyboards. Dooba dooba. Dooba dooba. Omni stole my clock, says somebody. What? Can you make it 69 beats per minute? I can make a song that's 69 beats per minute. How long? Wait, how fast is that? Or I should say, how slow is that? Double digit BPMs are not exactly a thing that I make a lot or ever, at least with any confidence. So we'll see. Ooh, yeah. Sorry in advance, guys, that the stream looks like this. So I'm at 140 right now. 69 is gonna sound like. Give me a metronome. That's not bad. I have that clock, sir, says Enigma. It's a very common clock, Enigma. It's from a place called IKEA, which is a place that I worked at for over a year. So all the clocks actually in my house are IKEA clocks. A little bit of trivia. A lot of the furniture in my house is IKEA furniture. This dresser, actually, that's in the background is IKEA furniture. The desk that this stuff is on is IKEA furniture. Yes. Yes, I did work there. That was my job for a considerable amount of time. Why is that happening? Hold on. Thank you. Yeah, what's wrong with you? Sorry, I'm talking to my interface. Okay. I've never actually gone to IKEA. How annoying are they to navigate? Not at all. I would say that they're less annoying to navigate than a normal store because there's arrows on the floor telling you where you're supposed to go. And instead of being like a big box where you just kind of wander aimlessly, there is like a track. You're almost like, it's like, think of a rail shooter, except there's furniture instead of spaceships. Okay, alright. I'm going to build drums first. Ugh. For those of you that don't know, drums are something that I kind of bounced into in 2017. I used to see drums as just a foundation for music. I mean, in a lot of ways, drums are a foundation for music, but I saw them as simply a foundation for music. I didn't see them as a character in a song. They were kind of something that they were like a glorified metronome. I was like, I just need to be able to keep time so that I can record the parts of the song that matter. If you listen to my song, ooh, I know what I'm gonna make today. I know what I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make a daydream type beat. Okay, but if you have heard my song Shoto Clone, that was the first song that I had where I treated the drums like they were an essential musical instrument, um, and relied heavily on um, tone within rhythm. I really don't want to get into it. I feel like it's going to be very boring. Drums are annoying to make, at least in EDM genres. The snare never sounds good enough. This is true, Enigma. Enigma's understanding where I'm coming from. One of the main reasons that I do avoid drums, and a lot of people avoid drums, is because drums, drums within production. Now, I want to keep in mind when I'm talking about drums, I'm not talking about drumming like a drum set, like live drums. Um, the drums in Shotacon were intricate. I'm not talking about live drumming. That's dope, and I get that. But when you're arranging a lot of stuff, usually like just picking MIDI, sometimes you can lose the human aspect in drums. Obviously, I understand chords very well because I have a very human um, relationship with the way chords are arranged and the way they show up on a piano and the way they can interplay with lead melody. And since I am a multi-instrumentalist, as a bass, but not a drummer, not somebody that is very experienced playing drums live, I don't have that human connection to drums that a natural drummer would. So I see drums, or I saw drums when I got into music writing as something to keep time, something to make sure that the rhythm, something to establish rhythm and make time. You know, if you take drums out of crucial genres like drum and bass, for example, it's no longer drum and bass. Um, It's no longer drum and bass. So like drums are very crucial. But in Shotoclone, that was the first time that I was using drums to affect like tonal shifts in the song. Blah 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 blah. This is a lot of it's a lot of words. It's a lot of words that don't matter. So I'm just gonna pick some whatever drums. And by whatever drums, I mean I'm not gonna sit here and like scroll through a million different kicks, and that's another reason why. There's so many reasons why I've neglected drums for the first like 5 years of my music making. Another reason is because if I have an idea, I'll say this and then we can get into the production thing. If I have an idea like da 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 da, like I have a melody in my head, I would like rhythm to write to, you know. And so I'll just bang out a basic rhythm and then I'll start writing the song and I'm like, oh, here come the woodwinds, here come the strings, here come, and I start arranging the song. And while I'm arranging the song over that, you know, rudimentary beat, the song essentially was going to get more attention. The song, and when I say the song, that's really dismissive. When I say the song, I'm talking about most of the harmony in in the song is going to take a lot of the attention, and not the drums. Usually, when I spend too much time on drums, I will lose sight of the initial idea, musical idea, right? Like if I sat here through this stream and I spent 15 minutes picking out the best drum sounds, I wouldn't get so deep into arranging. A lot of this, if you listen to my old music, it's why I use a lot of simpler sounds, even when it comes to harmony. There's a lot of like just straight up sine waves. There's a lot of saw waves. There isn't a lot of like in-depth sound design as much as there is arrangements with very, very simple sounds. Okay. I said all that, so I'm just going to pick out a... Why is that kick doing that? I'm gonna move the camera so you guys can see a little bit what's happening. Oh. Also, I'm not gonna mix any of this. I don't mix in the stream. That's a waste of time, mine and yours. If you guys were producers, maybe I would mix in the stream. Maybe you guys would be able to gain something from that. But not everybody in here is a producer, and I don't want to bore anybody with that half of it. So we're gonna pick a boo-boo kick here. Yeah. Ooh-wee. Oh my God, sorry. I'm cutting so much of this off. I'm gonna have to use a wave shaper on you eventually, aren't I? Oh, I can't make a daydream type beat because we're working at 69 BPM. Okay, it's fine. Let me get like a really basic snare. Oh, gross. Oh, they're all trash. It's a nightmare. Wow. Oh, heaven. 12 as well. Is there a reason you haven't updated to 20? This is FL20, actually. This is FL20. So, no, I am not using FL12. And the reason that I did update to FL20 is just because it was free. And I kept getting nagged to do so. So I did so. 20 doesn't look that different from 12. Clearly, if you're confusing the two. So just a heads up, if you were thinking about updating to 20, then maybe you should. It does look like 12. Oh, I'm gonna do something weird to this. I already know what I'm gonna do weird. Okay. I can fill out this drum thing to its entirety later. Ooh, these drums are trash. That's the last time I'm gonna insult these drums, because I know that can be annoying to hear me talk about how bad they are. When you play real drums, you hit a bunch of different parts of the snare, and sampling those different areas makes it more alive and feel. And oh, boost the human part. Word up. Word up, Sam. Hey, Sam, do you know who Sammo Hung is? Do you know who Sam? Have you ever heard of Sammo Hung? SAMMOHUNG. Oh, ooh, this is horrible. Oh crap! I said it again. Okay.
That's the last time I insult these drums. I think I'm insulting them because I know they're bad, and I want you guys to realize that this is not me trying my hardest to arrange drums. But I'm gonna come back to the drums, I promise. Oh, the 69 BPM is going to be a time, isn't it? I'm going to just try to make something weird. We're just making weird music now. It's we're already an hour and 20 in. Oh, modulations on. I'm like, wow, does that sound wiggly to anybody else? Okay. Oh, it gives it to me right here. That's pretty sick. This is sounding like a Lush Dream beat now. Sorry, everybody. Sorry for anybody in the stream that did not like Lush Dream. Because that's what this is now. At least for the most part. Oh, I do like it though. Whatever. What does that sound? Hold on. Okay. Make it louder, baby. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna build everything around this one piano part, right? I guess we're just gonna show how I make samples now at this point. Sorry guys. This has turned into a sample acquisition stream. Or I guess a sample arrangement stream. I think the idea of making your own samples is hilarious and redundant, but a lot of people steal samples, so I think it's important to show that there is an alternative. So this is a... How long has I been able to do that? If you play really high, I guess, on an upright basses registry on a Yamaha keyboard, it has a little bendy do. There's a hum coming through because I recorded it poorly. I have the gain turned up way too high on my interface. But I mean, I'm going to be making it a sample, so the poor quality is actually going to end up helping me in the end. There it is. Maybe. Okay, alright. Give me the drums back so I can record this. Oh my god, 69 BPM is so slow. Now I have a bass line. Oh my god, it's so slow. Alright. Over it. Vamp is a word I learned. It's short for vampire, who were famous musicians, famously very, very good musicians, because they had so much time to learn everything. it the first time. Okay, there's that. Basically, what we're doing is we're compiling a. When you compile a loop, sorry, let me not project. When I compile a loop, I will usually have a very very simple like this is very very simple, right? And there's slight variations in the loops. From building that, I can have several different instruments come in, and it's going to sound. Let me fair warning, it's going to sound really really congested, and that's what I'm going for. If you take an entire a piece of music and you sample just a little sliver of it, like a cross section of it, it's going to sound congested because you're not going to have a lot of context for what those instruments are doing. A lot of this is kind of putting the cart before the horse. I'm just trying to explain what's happening because it is going to get congested arrangement wise. So now I'm going to go to, if we're making like, this sounds jazzy now, there's like a woodwind in it that, no, don't do that on me. It's like a jazzier composition, and I think it is the bass, the speed, the piano, the ensemble of instruments, and so I feel like I like having, like a vibraphone if I'm going to have something that's sounding like really jazzy. It's very low-hanging fruit, but we're just making a sample right now, which one could argue is the lowest hanging fruit on the music arrangement tree. So, vibes now, short for vibraphone. So loud. Hold on. Hold on. So, which one's the sax? Sorry. I don't have these things labeled right now, so they're all just called untitled. Does anybody know what a polyrhythm is? I know, says Enigma. It's not important, but it's usually what I do for ARPs. A lot of times I'll make my ARPs on a polyrhythm, ARP being short for arpeggiator, but I'm not using an arpeggiator right now. I'm just playing in with the vibraphone. always makes me think of the group Perfume. I will. I think I'll always love that song by Perfume because. I'll always love that song by Perfume because I liked that song before I made music. So I like that song by Perfume because I heard that song. This was when I was in high school, maybe. Ugh, I don't. I know I wasn't making music. I know that much, and I didn't make music in high school. So I'm just placing myself in high school. I don't know if I was actually in high school. Ah, so loud. So the reason that I appreciate that song and I appreciate polyrhythms is because I learned that song. Polyrhythm, 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 poly. If you haven't heard the song, this is nonsense. But the song is called Polyrhythm, and the hook of the song is them repeating the word polyrhythm. It sounds beautiful. What the heck? Oh my god. No! Since when? Oh my god, I think I have to make a new thing. What was I talking about? Um, hold on. Sorry, I have to do something with this. We're gonna save that. We're gonna save that song, and we're just gonna call it 6 9 3 times, because I have to do something really quickly. Um. Oh, what the heck? Um, 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 um. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I derailed everything. I promise I'll go back to that idea. I, I have to do this thing really quick. I have to do this thing because I'm hearing it, and if I don't do it now, it'll never get done. No, it needs to be faster. It needs to be like 180 BPM. Make it longer. Oh, I have to turn it on. 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 Okay, hold on. Wow, I was just resting my arm on it. I love this. Wow, what? Okay, hold on. What? That's insane. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Relax and record. always more reverb. Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh, okay, whoa, whoa, okay, wait, what is that? What's the chord? What's the fourth one? What's the fourth chord in that? Okay. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Wait, maybe what if I do that? And it's not deep. So we can EQ that out. Turn it up slightly. How is that even? Okay, I need it to be. I need to use the piano, don't I? I do need to use the piano. Make it come in here, and so it's like. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the chat. I'm coming back, I promise. I'm gonna move my laptop over, which has the chat in it, so I can actually see what's happening. I apologize. Oh boy. I'm not gonna be putting a Rhodes piano in this Enigma. Sorry, I just saw your comment. I don't know how long ago it was made. I'm using piano. I am using piano. Holy heavens to bits. I am going to do something I said I wasn't going to do, which is EQ. I try not to do EQ stuff. I don't like doing mixing in the stream because mixing is more of a meditative thing for me, and not something that I can do while remaining in any way entertaining. So, but I did just put an EQ on the little echoey vibes. stream. I can't do this in the stream. Now I have like a million ideas. Okay. I'm going to mute the vibes so that I can get this down right. So, first run for piano recording. Oh, and I'm gonna turn down the loop back because I'm getting like all kinds of crazy. Oh, no, it's not coming through at all. Yeah. Love that chord. Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, Audrey. Yeah, the Truno, baby. AE86, baby. Be on the mountain pass. What is this? Midnight Drift 5. Word. That's so funny that it was just like me accidentally leaning my elbow. I was talking about something, by the way. I was answering a question or talking about something important when I had my elbow leaning on, and I got the idea for this thing. I'm sorry, I can't remember what it was I was talking about though. If somebody remembers, perfume. Yes. Sorry. Polyrhythm. So polyrhythm. Oh, this is why polyrhythm is great. Because the song Polyrhythm, the hook is the word polyrhythm. If you think about music and rhythm, we build rhythm on even numbers. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. We build rhythm on even numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, you know, we build on even numbers. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We typically don't build on odd numbers. Typically. Even when you think of like a waltz, it's still on 3, 4. These are still coordinates. Okay. Point is, polyrhythm does not have an even number of syllables. It is a 5-syllable word. Polyryzumu. In Japanese, it's a 5-syllable word. I know, in English, it is polyrhythm. It's an even temperament. That's actually why it's so fun and funny and fascinating to me, is because only in Japan can polyrhythm be, only in Japan can the word polyrhythm be a polyrhythm. Taken from English anyway, right? You take the word polyrhythm, it turns the word into a 5-syllable word, so you can't repeat polyrhythm on a beat. For example, if, sorry I'm really breaking the flow of this production stream to talk about this, but it's something that I find interesting. So if I were, the best way I can do this is by doing it in chords. I can't really do it in rhythm because I don't want to confuse people with just a snare that's hitting at different times. But if my chord progression was 4 chords, oh my god, okay. If that was my chord progression, and I was giving, oh my god, ooh, that's so nice. Polyrhythm. Oh, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna take out the 4. I'm just gonna make it 2 chords. This is my chord progression. If I give 2, if I'm splitting up the word polyrhythm, it has 4 syllables. I'm talking about in English right now. If I split it up into 2 beats, or into half, since it's 4 syllables and I split it in half, it's going to be 2 syllables per beat. And so it'll be polyrhythm, polyrhythm, polyrhythm. The problem with having, or the definition of a polyrhythm within this, is that you can't break the word polyrhythm in Japanese pronunciation into 2 equal parts because it is an odd number of syllables. It has 5 syllables. At polyrhyzumu, there's 5 syllables. So instead of saying polyrhythm, 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 you have to say polyrhyzumu, 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 polyrhyzumu. And so, and the English pronunciation of it, every chord, polyrhythm, every time I go back to the first chord, I'm saying the word poly. every single time. Polyrhythm, polyrhythm. No matter how many times I do it, I'm always gonna end up coming back on polyrhythm, polyrhythm. If it has 5 syllables, it would be. I'm gonna say, for the sake of this example, I'm gonna say polyrhythu mu, even though it's rizu mu, just for the sake of people in this maybe that don't study Japanese to any degree. Okay, so polyrhythu mu pa lyrhythm mu poly. Oh my god, I can already see this example not connecting with people in the stream because it is kind of heady. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to reverse and I'm just going to say that the word polyrhythm in Japanese is 5 syllables. And so you can't evenly break it up into beats. So what ends up happening is every time you go into the next beat, you still have some leftovers of the word and it shoves everything else down. Think of it in a term of rollover minutes, which as soon as it leaves my mouth, I realize is a very dated example. So some of the people in the stream might not even know what rollover minutes are. Oh, this is a better example. Oh my god. Ooh. Yes. I'm going to use hot dogs and hot dog buns for the example now. If you think about hot dogs and hot dog buns, a lot of people have complained about the fact that hot dog buns typically come in packs of 8, while hot dogs come in packs of 10, 2 rows of 5 versus 2 rows of 4. This means that if you go to the store and you get a pack of hot dogs and a pack of hot dog buns, you are going to run out of buns before you run out of hot dogs. You are always going to have 2 hot dogs left because there are 10 hot dogs and 8 buns. Very simple math. So it means that if you buy hot dogs and hot dog buns, this is an insane analogy. If you buy a pack of hot dogs and hot dog buns, you will have 2 hot dog buns left. 2 hot dogs left. Your buns are gone. And then you buy a new pack of buns and you use 2 of the buns and hot dogs. Now you have 6 buns left. Right? And so you go buy another pack of hot dogs, you use all those buns, now you have 4 hot dogs left. Oh, this math is wild. And then you go buy another pack of buns and you use those buns and now you have 4 buns left. You go and buy another pack and now you have 10 hot dogs and you use those and now you have 6 hot dogs left. You see how you're always ending up having to alternate? You can never use them both and finish at the same time. Now, if you keep doing this over and over again, eventually you will run out of hot dogs and hot dog buns at the same time because the polyrhythm will lock in. You see how every single time we did that, we had a different amount of hot dogs and a different amount of buns left? If you keep doing it, eventually they'll lock in together and you will have achieved some type of hot dog vana and everything will make sense. But typically that doesn't work out that way. And it works the same way with the word polyrhythm in Japanese. Since it is 5 syllables, it never quite ends at the same time the beat does. There's always leftover hot dog that needs to be delegated. And then after the hot dogs are done, there's leftover beat that needs to be delegated. I'm completely conflating this analogy now at this point. The point is, the word polyrhythm is a polyrhythm in Japanese music. It's kind of like a... Oh, there's actually a really good grammatical term for that, which I'm forgetting right now. Oh, that would have been so nice, convenient. But the word polyrhythm is a polyrhythm. In Japanese, not in English, in Japanese. So when I heard that song, not only did I not make music when I first heard that song, but I didn't know what a polyrhythm was. And the more I learned about music and how to make it, and the more I learned about polyrhythms and how they work and how to use them, I went back and I listened to that song and I was like, oh, it's not just a random word they're repeating, it's actually kind of genius. They're repeating the word polyrhythm as the performance of a polyrhythm in the song titled Polyrhythm. Anyways, I like polyrhythms. And hot dogs. Hot dogs are good. This was a good analogy. Oh. didn't want it to end that fast, but we got basically what we wanted here, which was just a clean piano recording of the chords that we're gonna play. Now I can unmute the other aspects of the song and listen to it back. Because we have to add a bass line. And you know how I feel about bass lines. Quiet on set, baby. Chill. Why are you peeking, baby? Alright. Hold on. Had to fix something. So, I can go here. Hold on, my laptop's gonna die. I just thought of something really stupid. Okay. Okay. Oh. No. Close. Oh my god. Oh, okay, let me try that. one bit, and I want to get that clean. Okay. Last time, I promise. Okay. Needs baby voice. I like Leanna in the stream so much. I don't know, sometimes I have no idea what Leanna's talking about. Leanna says it needs baby voice though, but maybe there's a valid point there. Oh my god. Too much bass. It's too much bass. I can feel the wind coming out of my speakers. Whew. Okay. Oh my god, yeah, the bass is way too loud, but it's there. That's what's important. I do like this a lot. I do like the thing that's happening. If I get like at least one recording of it in there, then I can add harmonies later. That's bony. Weird. No. No. But I do know what will fit in there, and it'll be soft, but I can do it. Hold on. No, that actually works. That actually works. Hold on. What is that? Wait. Oh my god. Hold on. It worked. And then the harmony of that is, the harmony I was using is, okay. Ah, it does work. It does work. How is that working? How am I doing that? Oh, I've got to redo that. I've got to redo that. But I do like what's happening right now. I do like what's happening in there. Enigma's heading out. Goodbye, Enigma. I hope you enjoyed yourself in the stream, and thank you as always for joining. I appreciate you. You're always very polite in the stream too, so I appreciate that as well. We're gonna probably be closing up here anyway because it is landscaping day, so it's about to get very noisy in the cul-de-sac. But I do very much like this, and I would like to record it. So if I'm using brass and I'm using this one, yeah. Okay, I think I got it. Clean. Now, harmony. Da 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 da. so some of these things need to be slid over, which is just part of the process for me because I still haven't taken off the little delay. So, I'm gonna do a few last things. I think my arrangement, I think my performance slash recording part, is over for right now. I'm just going to do a few arrangement things. First of all, I'm going to label some stuff. So if you're looking at this and you don't know what all these waveforms are, you're going to learn soon. This is the, hold on, let me unplug something. So this part right here is the initial part that started the song. I'm just going to call it Dream. No. I'm going to call it Vibes because it was a vibraphone, if you remember. Remember when I accidentally rested my arm on the keyboard? I did that. So that's Vibes. We're going to make that light blue. The next part is the piano. We're going to make that yellow. Like a mustardy yellow. This is the bass. We're going to make that dark blue as always. Here's the first trumpet. Sorry, it's not a trumpet, that's a sax. And then there's the trumpet's harmony, this guy down here. We're gonna make that the same color. We're gonna call it sax too. Oh, wait, what? Audrey says, I thought Brown was always lonely. Turns out he's a meter apart from Coney. Oh, yeah, no, I have quite a few Browns and Conies sprinkled throughout my bedroom. Color code that guy. This is where the vibes come back in. So we're gonna move that up, and away. My beautiful balloon. Does anybody know that song? Does anybody know the song? Up and away, my beautiful balloon. That's a good song. It's a good song. If you don't know it, please look it up. It's a beautiful, beautiful arrangement. I'm only half kidding. I do really actually like that song. So this is our kick. Up here, we're going to separate the kick now in this late stage from the snare. Give the snare its own little space to thrive. Like that. My beautiful balloon. Up and away. So a few really quick things that I like to do. I mean, this is, guys, this stream has only been an hour. An hour is not enough time for me to actually make a song, especially one that is this complicated in its scope. But just some really quick notes of things that I typically do to percussion in a track like this is I'm going to add a few things to the snare. So if you listen to the snare on its own, it's just going like this. Now, I have little, this is old actually. This is the Lex Luger sound pack, so if anybody still has this, there's snaps in it that I like to use. And they are here. There's a snap in here somewhere. Not that one. This one. There's that snap, and so I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna layer it on top of the snare, and but I'm not gonna have it hit at the same time the snare hits. I'm gonna have it hit like slightly off the beat. This is like unquantizing stuff or things being unquantized. I've talked about this in a previous stream. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it here, but I will say that I usually put a decent amount of reverb on the snap as it plays with the snare. Hold on. Ugh, but not that much. Oh, where's the snare go? Is the snare not on anything? Oh, Omni, no. You can't make a song like that. Okay, so I'm gonna... Oh, there we go. And then I'm gonna go back into the reverb and do some slight alterations. Oh, I want to keep that. Oh, goodbye, Usaria. I hope you have a good rest of your day. We're about to finish up things here anyway. So at this part of the song where the loop and... Oops, sorry. At this part of the song where the loop is going to go away... I'm going to put in some hi-hats here, so it's going to lose the snares. So here I'm going to have a hi-hat pattern. The hi-hat pattern is going to be very fast to reflect that this song is an 180 BPM, but it is halftime. So think of it more as like 190 with a 180 BPM hi-hat pattern. I realize that might be like complicated or pedantic for most of the people in the stream. So if it was, don't worry about it. The hi-hats just are going to sound like this. Ugh, but not that hard. They're so crunchy. Everything's just so loud. There we go. And we're going to make it pretty long because there's going to be a lot of things changing in this hi-hat. It's not going to be a clear loop. So we're going to make it at least this long, which is pretty long for a hi-hat loop. And I'll explain why. Or will I? I will. So I can't just copy and paste this, or I could. But what I'm going to do is add a lot of little like articulations to the hi-hat that's going to make it, I don't know, diverse or varied. So I won't be able to actually copy and paste it. I'm gonna have to like punch everything in. Yeah, see how there's just like slight variations now in the arrangement of the hi-hat. And then I'm gonna put two in here. So I wish I could fast forward through this part of the process, but I can't. So, I mean, you can pay attention or you can just not. You can like tune me out right now. It's going to be... I'll make it really fast. I'll make it really fast. Both in execution and in arrangement. I'm going to go back to this guy. And then bop, bop, bop. And then bop. And then bop, bop, bop. And then beep, beep, beep. And then, how long is it? Oh, then it does that again. So I'm going to go for bigger ones here. They're going to be like that. And it's going to go beep, and I'm going to paint it like that for a whole one. And then I'm going to go back to the bigger ones. Pop, 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 pop. And then I'm going to erase this one. I'm going to put a little guy in there. And then I'm going to put a bunch of little guys in this part. But I'm going to have them start going higher. Do, 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 do. And then I'm going to come back down to ground zero. And then I'm going to have this one where it's like they're all over the place because I'm the hi-hat god. And then I'm going to go boop, boop, beep, bop, boop. This is random placement, just in case you were thinking there was some type of method to that. That part right there is random. How much left do I have? Oh, that's it. And so now we're going to do a little bit of velocity training. So like, if you look at, if I lift up the velocity, you can see this is like the velocity of the hi-hats. And so we're going to have some of them be normal. Oops, some of them are going to be normal volume. And this one we're going to have like that fall, I guess, because who cares? And then for this one, we're going to have it go straight throughout the rest. But then we're going to take like the rolls like that, and we're going to add some articulation to the rolls. Yada, 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 as they say, as the people say. And then we're going to go like that. And then we're going to play it with the drums, and it sounds like this. So that's what the hi-hat sounds like. And then we're going to take that hi-hat and we're going to play it over the piano now. Then we're going to put the bass back in. And then a loop. That's how you make a Daydream type beat. If you have listened to Daydream, thank you so much. If you haven't listened to Daydream, this is what most of it sounds like. Really quick example, I'm going to save this and I'm going to call it, spaghetti A's. Can I put a hyphen in the name of something? It turns out I can. Okay, we're going to go to my projects. Into Omniboy. We're going to scroll down through all of the albums that I've made and released or not released. And we're going to go to Daydream because that's what I was just giving an example of. And we're going to open the song Rainbow because I made it. To give an example of what type beat I was making. So if you listen to Rainbow, Rainbow is going to have really chill, jazzy, piano chords, just like the song that I played. Again, this song took several months to make versus what I just made in like an hour. But here all the drums are really fast and the BPM is really high. Something to take note of is, remember how I was just making that really complicated hi-hat loop? This is one of those, like that pots and pans sound. If you listen to it by itself, you can hear the weird rolls in it. That's what I was just doing with the hi-hat. Then you just put the song around it. I used to use this sound so much in songs, I almost never use it anymore. Those were some good leads back then. I had some good leads in my pocket. And then there's this one over here. This one. That's so interesting. I haven't listened to this in a really long time, sorry. But there's also an accompaniment here. Oh my god! Oh my god, this is actually really dope. See, there's a lot of sounds. But I just like, wow. I don't use them anymore. Oh yeah, the typewriter bit. The song has a typewriter in it. Oh, word. I almost forgot. It's just those four notes. You know, something interesting about that I just kind of rediscovered as I was looking at this song. I haven't heard this to track. This is amazing. I haven't heard this track. Nicholas. I know your name isn't Nicholas. I think we discussed this. You're somebody else. But I'm calling you Nicholas for the sake of this conversation. Um, I have an entire album, I'll call it, I guess, called Daydream. That is nothing but music like this. So if you liked this song and you're in the stream and oh, it is Nicholas. Word up then. Hi, Nicholas. I have a whole album of music that's just like that. Some of the tracks are cool. Some of them are sad. There's a song in there called Shoto Clone, which I brought up earlier in the stream, which was my first foray into doing percussion arrangements. But anywho, what the point that I'm making right now, this instance, is I was looking at sounds. You know, like I don't really want to do the reverse camera again to show you guys exactly what I was looking at, but like the leads, like these sounds, those sounds. All these sounds. Usually when I'm making an album, I will design a bunch of sounds for the thing I'm going for. Oh man. I will design a bunch of new sounds for the general idea that I'm trying to implement. So when making this thing, um, I did a lot of like going, okay, I'm trying to make something that's really dreamy, but also kind of chaotic, but also like orchestral. So what sounds should I be, which sounds should I be constructing right now? And so I did a lot of sound design and sound shaping specifically to get the sound that ended up being Daydream. Now this thing like inevitably ends up happening to me a lot where I will spend time crafting a sound, whether it's for Daydream or crafting like a library of sounds if it's for Love Dream or whatever. I'll be crafting a bunch of sounds. And then when it comes time to make a new album or a new EP or a new score or whatever, I will craft now new sounds. I'll go, okay, so what am I going for now? Is it a narrative about a street racer like Speed Dream was? I need to make a bunch of sounds that are complementary to that soundscape or to that narrative. I have to like shape that sound. Um, and then if I'm going to make Lush Dream, Lush Dream honestly didn't have a lot of sound design on it. If I'm being transparent, Lush Dream was just like sounds. It was just, oh, this is a piano. This is a upright bass sound. This is, it was a lot of acoustic sounds like kind of thrown together to get that live, real record being sampled sound. Which is what I was trying to do. So maybe Lush Dream isn't the best example of that, but there is a lot of like for Quick Breath, I shaped a lot of sounds that I felt like were more R&B focused. Even the synthesizer sounds and Quick Breath are very directed towards that kind of love, R&B, 90s house vibe, I suppose. And so when it comes to every new release, it's like I'm crafting new sounds. And I am only one person, so there is going to be like a common thread throughout, right? There's going to be a common thread throughout all of the releases. But something always interesting happens to me when I go back and I open up a track like this, like Rainbow, and I really listen to it. I'm like, oh crap, like, I don't use that sound anymore. Like, the sounds that I pulled up just now, like when I was kind of going through, like, oh, this sound, this lead, and stuff like that, none of those sounds are in Quick Breath or Ego Death when I put out Ego Death. Well, that's not true. This type of sound, like super like reverbed out dreamy sound, that is an Ego Death, a different version of it. But it's interesting because sometimes I'll go back and I'll listen to something and I'm like, oh, I missed this sound, or like, I need to bring this back. Sometimes I just forget about things because it's been so long. Now I'm making a new thing now, off and on. A lot of you guys in the stream have heard all the songs from it like 2,000-3,000 times. You guys have heard these songs, but I'm crafting a new sound space for those sounds, and the songs I'm talking about, Cyber knows, but like the more like funkier house, like I guess there's a lot of different genres of house, but I would say that this stuff. Hold on, let me aim the camera back at the project file. I would say that this stuff is inherently, intrinsically different than Quick Breath. Even though Quick Breath and this song are both house-oriented arrangements, this is inherently different to me. Where is it? Hey. This seems different. Now, everything is accumulative, right? So if you go to the bridge or the jazz intermission, as I have it labeled as, in this song, you'll see where Daydream comes in, like that piano jazzy, or even like a little bit of like Signals is here. Like in this part. It just sounds like a Signals record. But it has still the more upbeat vibe of this arrangement. But the reason I did that is because I wanted to use this melody down here. So I introduced it with a jazz arrangement. these songs, like like Ego Death or like I was just playing Daydream, they have a bunch of sounds crafted specifically for this. And sometimes I can go back and listen to old songs and be like, oh, this was really cool. I can see how this could be complementary to what I'm making now, or not so. Like there are a lot of sounds in this song that were kind of like sonically mined from the things I was doing in Speed Dream. Specifically, this bass line arrangement. It's kind of hard to hear, but I have an accompaniment for it. That's where is it? Hold on. It's over. Oh, it should be right under it. This is why we label things, Omni. It's right here. And it's because it isn't a chord progression. This is like a loop, which is like if you listen to a lot of, especially like the intermission tracks in Speed Dream, a lot of them are just built off of basic loops like this. They're like riffs instead of chord progressions. So if you have the whole song around it, it sounds like that. But I still have chords in this song. They've just been moved over here. But these sounds were crafted specifically for this sound. Like, for example, I have a bunch of orchestral arrangements. You guys know that I can use orchestral arrangements because I just showed you one a few moments ago. But for this sound, I thought it would be disingenuous to the type of music this is to have a full string arrangement around it. So instead, I just kind of settled for the like cheeky violin drops, which is like pretty popular in disco music, these. Like, I would not call that an arrangement. It's still strings, yes, but just it's a cheap version. That doesn't distract from the arrangement of the song and kind of gives it that funky disco sound. There's a bunch of songs, there's a bunch of these songs that have this same arrangement style. And so when I was opening up Rainbow and showing you guys Rainbow, because the beat that I made, or the song that I was making in today's stream, was very reminiscent of Daydream stuff, I wanted to give people in the stream like Nicholas, who haven't actually heard Daydream, some context of what I was making and why it sounded like that, why I was using those drum and bass patterns and those really high BPMs underneath what was essentially a chill kind of jazzy chord progression. I feel like the same thing is done in this song, where it's like this song still has that funky, housey feel of the other songs, but I build the sample, which again I was talking about at the beginning of the stream, talking about building samples. By, if you look at this, it's like I have a vibraphone line, I have an upright bass line, I have a piano line, just like we were talking about in the last one, where I was like, oh, I want to go that jazzy feel, so let me use vibraphones, let me use an upright bass. You build a song in order to sample the song. But if I'm making a funky, housey song, I'm going to build a jazzy sample to go underneath it. There's that jazzy sample. There's the drums underneath it. Now, in order to build this drum, we have some drummers in the stream, but in order to build this drum pattern, I was just listening to Bossa Nova and paying attention to where the hits lied, and then I built them out of MIDI here. Like, if you zoom in, you can see that it is just straight up MIDI that I used to make these drums, to get that kind of live sound. Now, I'm not a drummer, but you can listen to music and you can hear where a kick lies and you can hear where a snare lies and you can kind of line it out, like to arrange it in a pattern. And this is the drum pattern that I came up with. And then for the vibraphone and everything, I just played them on my Yamaha MX-61. Some of you guys remember this song from the stream. And that's where the house comes in, like the house drums down here. And then there's the sample here. I've turned the entire sample now into its own. Like I took all of this that was happening in the beginning, and I've squeezed it down into its own waveform here where it's rendered. And you can, if you look really close, you can see I've even chopped it up a little bit to make it sound more like a chopped and screwed sample. Put a filter come in. Now, the reason I show you guys that is because if you were not in the 100 stream, or even if you were in the 100 stream, but you didn't quite understand what was going on in the video that I put up 2 days ago called, the video was called Dreams Come True. I did make that in the stream, but Dreams Come True, if you look at that video, for the first half of the video, I do play the arrangement. I play, oh, can I remember it? Wait. Do 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 do. How do I still remember that? That's kind of stupid, actually. Anyways, that song, if you look at the video for that song, I do play it. I do play it live in the very beginning, and then halfway through, it becomes like the chopped and screwed sample. And something you'll hear if you're paying attention is that when it does cut up and it's being chopped, I do turn a filter down, a filter effect on it that comes up higher. So, I don't want to play the video on the stream because we're out of time. But if you haven't seen Dreams Come True, go look at Dreams Come True. I'm trying to. There's this whole thing about teaching somebody something, but showing them instead of explaining them. We talked about language acquisition in the stream a while ago, where somebody made a very valid argument that grammar was not important in learning a language, at least in learning how to speak to people. Grammar is not that important. The rules aren't that important as long as you know what things in the language do, or you're memorizing the language in chunks. You will be able to communicate with people. And I think in streams a lot of times I can like dive into super complicated explanations on like why this does that and why this sounds this way and why I use this. But instead of doing that, and instead of going like, here's how to build a sample, you know, these are the basic building blocks for making your own, you know, lo-fi hip-hop sample kit. Instead of doing things like that, I would prefer instead to show people so that they can infer what's happening on screen or in the song themselves. And what I'm saying is, if I play Rainbow for you guys, just with the audio, right? If I just play that, this isn't Rainbow, but for example, if I were playing Rainbow and I played just the audio for you, you guys would hear the song and maybe you would enjoy the song. Some of you that are very attentive listeners might be able to notice, oh, I think the piano's not playing anymore in this song, or oh, I think we're in a bridge now. But for most people that listen to music, they don't listen actively to music. This isn't an insult, this isn't a dig. It's in the same way that when most people look at movies, they don't actively watch filmmaking.
as in terms of like, oh, they're using this type of lighting, or oh, I know what type of shot this is, or oh, I know what's happening here. Most people just don't know what's happening. They just take things on a surface level and they appreciate it. Music, I would like to be able to show people what's happening in music without boring them with terms and technique and like me scrolling through a bunch of different snares, right? I would prefer to not have to do that. And I think the people that want to learn about music would prefer not to have to watch that. So in my little song videos, what I do, not just me, a lot of people do this that make those type of videos, is you show people exactly what's happening. You show, I have a video of me playing keyboard, I have a video of me playing keyboard, but a bass line now. I have another video of me playing strings on a keyboard. I have a video of me doing vocoder audio, so that people can kind of start to try to listen to music actively and think of it in terms of layers and ingredients. And when something is gone, they can hear it being removed because I have supplied a visual aid to them of it being physically removed. Like the video of me playing keyboard will like slide out of view if I'm no longer playing keyboard in this part of the song. Or the video of me singing lyrics to a song, my mouth will no longer be moving so that they can see like, okay, I think I understand how the composition of the song is working. And thank you, Nicholas, for being in the stream. I hope to see you in a future stream. We're getting ready to close up here anyway. But to finish the point that I was making, a thing that I do a lot in music is I will build a song and then I will sample the song. I will build, keyboard, bass, drums, vocals, etc., saxophone or whatever. And then I will take that entire song and I will chop it up and use it as an ingredient or its own instrument inside of another song. And a lot of people don't understand that from a songwriting perspective, or a lot of people don't understand that from a sonic perspective, just hearing it. They don't know exactly what's happening. So if I show them videos of me building a song, here's me playing keyboard, and then they see like me playing on the drum pad, here's the drums, and they see me singing something, here's the singing part. And then I show those videos now flashing on and off as the audio is being chopped up. Hopefully they will now be able to realize like, oh, this part of the song is just that sample. That thing is just being cut in and out. That thing has a filter on it or something like that. That's what I'm trying to do. It's not going to connect with everybody. It's not going to make sense to everybody. But I'm trying to show people composition instead of telling them composition. Oh, thank you, Cyber. Thank you, Cyber, for also you putting in some extra time today and being in the stream. I know it ran very, very long. I do have to get out of here, but I do appreciate everybody. I'm going to go over a little bit of news, though, before we're done here. I do have a new song out called... It's called The View. It's out on an album called Lazarus by Attack the Music. Go check that out if you get a second to do so. I would really appreciate it. I worked really hard on that. There are a few people in this stream that have not heard... Birds are so loud now. Nowadays, anyway. There's a few people in here that have not heard Daydream. Daydream is a little bit older. It's one of my older releases. It came out late 2017. But I would implore everybody who is in the stream that has not heard it to please go listen to it. I worked really hard on it. It was probably one of the most labor-intensive things that I had done at the time because of how complicated the arrangements were. I was challenging myself to try to do things that I felt like I wasn't ready to do. And if you ask me now, I would say that I'm still not ready to do them. But I'm glad that I kind of took that on because I learned a lot from them. So please go listen to Daydream if you have a chance. But also the most recent stuff that I put out, which maybe might make more sense to somebody who has been listening to my music more so recently, is Quick Breath and Ego Death. Quick Breath being the more upbeat but soulful alternative to the stuff that I'm making right now, which is maybe a little bit more funky, and Ego Death, which is very ambient stuff. Ego Death, please listen to Ego Death. I played a song from Ego Death earlier in the stream called Vanilla, and I remember somebody in the stream liking it, so hopefully you go and listen to the recorded version of Vanilla. All of this stuff can be found on Bandcamp, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal, Group, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube. We're on YouTube already right now, so a thing that's happening on YouTube once a week is I put up something called the Quarantine Series. Quarantine Series every Tuesday, I just post up a little 2 minute to 2 minutes 10. What is happening? What is happening? Do you guys see this thing? Oh, no, it's gone. Okay, well. No, it's back. What is going on? Oh my god. Sorry. This is my problem. I get easily distracted. There is a bird that was clearly chasing something. I think it was chasing a grasshopper or something like that, but it was like this weird, it looked like a dog was happening. Like, it looked like Ace Combat. Anyways, thank you for being on the stream, Izzy. I'm gonna go ahead and end it now. I'm gonna wrap things up really quick. As far as new shows, new tour dates, new merch, all that stuff is being put on hold, so bear with me until we get through whatever is happening right now. I can't really announce any big career moves, and I hope that you guys are understanding of that. As far as the Quarantine series, which I was unfortunately interrupted while I was talking about, every Tuesday I put up a quick 2-ish minute long song idea that I made in my room, and I also record and edit a little video to go along with it to kind of show people how I'm doing it, how the song is made, how it's built, what I'm playing. It's unnecessary, but it's something that is / can be fun. So I've been doing that every Tuesday to kind of, keep from getting rusty while we're all stuck inside. And that is all the news. The streams happen here every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Thank you for everybody that has been spending time in the stream. I appreciate it. And as far as the production streams, I think we're just doing them every 10 streams. Since this is 120, we did one. We'll be doing another one on 130. And by the time we do the next one at 130, I will have a more organized OBS ran stream specifically for the production part. So instead of being here for Morning Medley first, we will get right into the production part of it, and it'll be more organized and better ran. And you'll be able to hear it a little bit better, because I know the whole interference of the audio, when I'm playing things into the acoustics of my room, can be a bit misleading. This song that I'm playing right now is called Hush Hour. I finished the arrangement for it while I was in Hong Kong, but it actually used to be the bare bones of the bridge of a song that I have called Spring Street. Part of me misses Hong Kong. I didn't spend very much time there, and I wasn't treated particularly well while I was there, but something about that city is alluring to me. It's weird. If you want to see the music video for this song, by the way, it was shot in Hong Kong. And it is on my YouTube under the name Hush Hour. Thank you, Soothsayer. I'm glad that you got anything out of that production stream. The production streams can be a lot of fun for me because, as you saw today, sometimes I'll mess up on the piano, I'll make a mistake, or I'll lean on it and I'll hear a sound and it'll spark an idea for a new thing. But thank you to everybody here still in the stream after this very long one for being with me, also for respecting me and being polite to each other. That's huge for the internet. People don't think that there's any consequences for being just an awful person on the internet. Maybe there isn't, but I'm glad that you guys are nice anyway, knowing that. So, I'll leave you guys to that. It's Wednesday. It's Thursday. It's Thursday. I hope you guys all enjoy your Thursday. Abba.